to life, and then you repeat the patterns that you see in your household, and most likely the codependent relationship, and it's another definition is, in my opinion, it's filling a void inside of you that you're trying to look for somebody outside to fill, because you can't fill it yourself. You're not self-aware enough. So what happens also is you jump from relationship to relationship, because then when you're in a relationship and it's great in the beginning, it fills that need, but like any relationship, reality comes in, and you learn, your honeymoon stage is no longer, it's not going to last forever. And then who is the problem? It's not you, it's them. They're the problem. So now it's time to look for somebody else to fill that void. So it's always going to be internal. And even so, no matter you jumping from relationship to relationship, or buying a house, buying a car, or a new bag, or you guys call it a purse, we call it pocketbooks, whatever, anything that can fill that void, it's insatiable, because it has to be filled by you. And the problem that I see these days, even like, I'll give you an example on Reddit. I'm so happy that there is actually a technique that works, because it resonates with me and my education and math and master's degree, what I learned in school. And Lisa, I told you that it did not resonate with me, the techniques and treatments, and going to therapy and having experienced these techniques on me, and not getting anywhere really, for a little while, but not really getting to the root. So I was so excited to find out that something with research and evidence is available that actually proves the brain is malleable, and that we can change the structure of our brains, but we have to make the effort by training our brains, our thoughts, to restructure our brains. And then we can develop a healthy thinking pattern. So I was so excited about this. So I tell people on Reddit, and I get thrown off a site. They said I was self-promoting. Meanwhile, I was promoting somebody's book. I wasn't even promoting myself. I was like, got to read this book. It's called what is it? Well, there's the 21-day Brain Detox. That's one book. And then there's a new book that's out, and it's called Cleaning Up the Mental Mess by Caroline Leaf. And then they said I was self-promoting. I said, this lady is a multi-millionaire. She doesn't even know I exist. They shut me off. But I feel like every time I go on there and I offer positive stuff, I still get downvoted. And then another example is on Instagram. Like, these people have massive followings who, like the anxiety fairy, I think her name is, or something, and all she does is sit there and bitch about oh, when I'm anxious I feel like this, and never once does she give tips, but people love it. So I feel like people don't want to, some people are just too comfortable being who they are, and they don't want to know that there's something that can help them. And you guys, I have to give you credit, because the small group that I have, it actually wants to. So, I mean, there's a difference, because not a lot of people want to. I remember when I first started working in the field, I had a young girl, and I was doing an assessment, and she's like, I'm bipolar. I'm like, have you ever had a manic episode? She goes, no. I'm like, stop. I'm going to tell you something. You're really not bipolar. Everyone is diagnosed with that, because it takes like 15 years to diagnose, and it takes a lot of cycles, and she got really pissed. And I was like, but all she was, she was depressed, but she wanted to be bipolar. And I thought I was telling her good news. Like, you're not bipolar. Because I had a doctor tell me that. I saw a psychiatrist for about 5 seconds. Okay, I'm exaggerating. maybe 5 minutes. And he's like, you're bipolar. And I was like 21 maybe. And I started crying. And I was like, what? And then I looked, this is before I got my education. And I looked up at him and he was stone cold. And I stopped crying. And I was like, very upset over it. Like, because then I researched it and I was like, this is progressive. What does my future look like? And then I was very, I got in that hole and I wasn't aware of anything like this. So back to this research shows that what malleable means is that we can even grow our intelligence. And how you grow your intelligence, how you strengthen your intelligence is by doing mind work. And by doing mind work, I mean, this is mind work. This is mind work. These steps are applying daily mind work. And daily, if you guys are doing this daily, that you're doing it on the weekends, because I can't do it because of my son. He will not have that. He's only 3.5. So the mind management technique is designed to get to your root of your issues and redesign how you see things from your past so that it no longer is impacting and hindering you from living your life, because that's what it does. I don't know what an analogy it is, but it's just when I guess it makes you feel stuck. It makes you feel like you can't get ahead. And remember, I said to remove I can't out of your vocabulary, because that's just placing limitations on yourself, because that's you doing it. So if you think, what is that saying? Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. And that is so true. And I hate mantras because that's so superficial. And if you don't believe it, it's not going to work. Like cognitive behavioral therapy is very superficial. But that mantra, that might be a mantra that I don't hate, because if you think you can or can't, then you are right. Think about that, because that's what I've learned. So I thought I was doomed. I thought I was never gonna be normal. And then I realized, go look on my page, Yale research, according to Yale, nobody's normal. There's no such thing as a normal brain. There is no evidence of a normal brain. There is no evidence of depression except for symptoms. I know, but like a depressive brain does not show that you're going to be depressed forever and you're doomed because you have brain damage. You can fix it. So let's start by going through the steps. So this is what you do, and you start with the 5 steps daily. So get something to write with, and I have on the document, what section is it called on the Facebook? Units, maybe. On the unit section, I even uploaded 2 sheets, so you can check off whether you're doing these steps every day, and then a journal just so you can write. And each step is 2 or 3 minutes, no longer. If you have significant trauma, which we talked about yesterday, my allergies are really bad, it's a lot of pollen, then really limit it to 2 or 3 minutes. If you do 3, 4, 5 minutes of each step, okay. But if you have significant trauma, limit it, because significant trauma needs, you need to contain that. You don't want to trigger that. So, but you do want to do work on it, because you absolutely can heal. So step 1 is to capture your emotions from your unconscious and just center yourself peacefully and scan your body. And what you're looking for is the dominant negative emotion. So is it anxiety? So is it shame? Are you ashamed of yourself? Are you are you feeling depressed? And then you ask yourself why. This is step 2. Analyze it. And this also takes 2-3 minutes. So you can imagine that's a lot of asking why, and answering, analyzing, responding. But you have to be 100% honest with yourself. Otherwise, it won't work. So let me give you an example. If it's anxiety, why am I having this anxiety? Well, because I am not, I'm trying to think of, because I don't have this anymore, but let me give you an example of somebody else. Like, okay, so I'm having anxiety and it's manifesting. Okay, for the other day, somebody I talked to, I'm getting anxiety in texts at my job. I'm getting them here, at place on an airport and going on a plane. This is an example I use because I've had that, and it's irrational because you know that the plane isn't going to crash. I mean, it's not, and so it has nothing to do with that. It's just manifesting. So why am I feeling this way? So you're looking. It's not because I know the plane isn't going to crash, right? Well, what's beneath that? Well, where are you going? Well, I'm going to Tahiti. I don't know. Okay, and then you're going, well, why? Maybe it's Tahiti. Maybe it's my trip that's giving me anxiety. Okay, what about this is giving me anxiety? Well, I really can't afford it. I put it on my credit card. Okay, why are you putting things that you can't afford on your credit card? Why? Well, because I was on Facebook, everybody else is, I don't know. This is how you have the discussion with yourself. And if you need to step out of yourself and look at your problems objectively, we have the ability to do this. So how we do this is think of what you would tell your best friend, or what good advice you would tell your best friend if your friend was going through this. And so that way, it's just objective. We have the ability to view ourselves from different angles, objectively, standing outside of our problems, looking in and looking outside of ourselves. So without the emotion attached. Okay, and that's step 2. So step 3 is writing it down. So, and it doesn't stop with, because people on Facebook were going and I wanted to. Well, why do you feel the need to show them up? Why? It's coming from somewhere. It's insecurity. Why are you feeling insecure? So now you're digging deeper and deeper. So I'm still in step 2. Okay, so you're digging deeper and deeper. So why are you feeling insecure? Because I want to show people that I'm succeeding too. Why is that important to you to show them that you're exceeding when you're really not? If you're spending beyond your needs and beyond your means, and why you present? Why is it important to you to present somebody who you're not? Because I was always told I wasn't good enough. So it always goes back to, for most people, it goes back to childhood. So I was always told I wasn't good enough. Well, and we talked about this before, Lisa, because my dad or parents were telling me that I wasn't good enough, and and you internalize that belief, so now you got to confront that. So confront it with, so your dad was saying that when he was on alcohol and abusive to you. So does his opinion of you still carry that weight? So is it still, is he the almighty of everybody? Is his judgment the ultimate judgment? No, because ultimately it comes down to what you think about yourself, and that is the most important. And not everyone, and I was telling my little 3-year-old this today, not everybody is going to like you, and you're not going to like everybody, and that's just the way it is. And if they don't like you for who you are, screw them. You don't want to be their friend anyway. So step 3 is now you're writing down the deeper issue. So when you hit that core issue, you're going to know, because it's going to feel like an epiphany. It's going to feel like, wow, you know. And then going back to the root, remember there are two roots, the love and the fear. So going back to the root, what was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. But the two roots, right? So it's going to feel like an epiphany. Okay, the root. So the derivatives from the root. That's where I was going. Aw, wee. So, my cat. So the derivatives from that root belief in yourself. So you have a core belief in yourself, who you are. So you've internalized that you're not good enough. So now it's manifesting in all these ways, like having anxiety at the airport. Not because you're afraid the plane's going to fly. It's because it could be because of all those other things. I don't know. You know, we're all individual. So it could be, it's different for everybody. But what you discovered, you write it down, because now when you're writing it down, you're getting deeper into the unconscious and you're becoming more aware of what is your driving force, what is driving your choices, your behaviors, your actions, your decisions, your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. It's all in the unconscious. So you're going to write it down and write down for 2-3 minutes. And that's it. Step number 4 is read what you wrote yesterday. And now you're looking for trends, connections, and triggers. So what's triggering it? Is it a Facebook post? Maybe. So maybe get off of Facebook, you know, if it's triggering you to feel bad, or, you know, for temporary, I don't know. So you're looking for trends and patterns. Also, when you're documenting this, you're seeing your progress over this course of 63 days. So then step number 5. So this is a very important step, because you're replacing the negative neural networks that are your fallback networks, that are your habits, that you will continuously resort to if you don't unwire them. You'll continuously fall back on them, and you can't unwire them in one day. It takes the same amount of time it takes to wire in any habit, you know, about 63 days if it's really traumatic, or 3 cycles of 21 days focusing on 3 different thoughts. Or it could take a little longer. It could take, you know, maybe 90 days. But ultimately, you're going to feel the benefits in a few days. It's just going to fluctuate. And you have to stay on top of it, on top of your thoughts. Every thought, monitor. So this step, sorry about that. I'm going to change it. Now, so you're replacing your negative original thought that you discovered in step 2, which is that you're not good enough, that you feel like you're not good enough, or you feel like you'll never be anything. So that's self-doubt, and that is holding you back from living your life, going and getting the job that you want, because you feel like you're not going to get it. It's just, that has so many limiting beliefs, so many. So what you're going to say to yourself, now this is also individual, so it's got to be something that resonates with you. So if your core belief is self-doubt and you're trying to unwire that, you're going to wire in something that says, and I say this all the time because it's a good one, it's not who I am, it's who I became. So we got to remind yourself, now according to science, at least 7 times a day. So in your phone, put a reminder every hour. It's not who I am, it's who I became. Or, no. And when you have a negative emotion, you're going to say that to yourself too. So chances are you probably don't have to put it in your phone. I didn't. I just would say it every time I had a negative emotion. But if you have a busy day or whatever, if you're at work, you might want to do that. So every time you have a negative emotion, immediately stop it and say, that's not who I am, it's who I became. And you're working on changing it. And you have the ability to stop it right then and there before it grows. So even if it's something somebody says to you, because I know that could be very damaging when you have a negative default thought pattern, because it just feeds your seeds of negativity, and it's hurtful to people when we have that. So even that, you don't have to grow it. You could stop it, and you could say, that's not who I am, it's who I became. I'm not going to let this person affect my progress. And that's it. So, all right, have a good day.